Hello, and welcome to the Simon Kids YouTube channel. My name is Jessie Sima, and today I'm going to read to you Harriet Gets Carried Away. And this is a book that's published by Simon & Schuster and is by Jessie Sima. That's me. I'm the author and the illustrator of this book, and I'm really excited to share it with you. This book is inspired by my own love of costumes, both now and when I was growing up. And I used to have a costume that looked a lot like the one that Harriet wears in this book, the one that is the penguin with the red bow tie. And so I found a similar costume that I can fit into as an adult, and it's very important that I wear it while we read this book. So I hope you're ready. Harriet Gets Carried Away. And we see on the end papers there are some hot air balloons, which might give you a clue to something that we'll see in this book later. Harriet Gets Carried Away. That's the title page. And here we're introduced to Harriet for the first time. She's wearing her penguin costume, and she's feeding some pigeons on the park bench. And the pigeons might come back into this book too, so keep an eye out for them. Harriet loved costumes. And she has this huge trunk full of all sorts of costumes. I had a lot of costumes growing up. I loved costumes. I wonder if you like costumes too. She didn't save them for Halloween, or only wear them to dress up birthday parties. Harriet wore costumes all the time. So here Harriet's wearing this dinosaur costume to the dentist, which is not something that I recommend doing, because the dentist, right, is confused about whether to work on these teeth or to work on these teeth, and you don't want to confuse your dentist. On the morning of her own dress-up birthday party, Harriet was a busy bee, and there, she's dressed in a bee costume. "We still need to pick up some snacks from the grocery store," her dad said. "And lots of party hats," Harriet added. Her dads shared a look. "Okay," they said, "but don't get carried away." Harriet was sure she could manage that. But can she? We'll find out. She changed into her extra special errand running costume, our familiar penguin costume, right? Straightened her bow tie like this. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Waddled down the street, through the subway, because Harriet lives in New York City, so that's how she and her family get around, and into the store. Her dad seemed to have the deli counter covered, so Harriet set out on a quest for the perfect party hats. So there we see her little trail that you can follow off. But instead, she found, what do you think she's going to find instead of party hats? Something else! And that something else is tons of penguins in the frozen food section. And they're picking up bags of ice. What are they going to do with all that ice? Probably have a party. And some of them are wearing sweaters. Yeah. Harriet looks very surprised. Harriet forgot all about the party hats. And they're handing her a bag of ice. She waddled past the checkout line, through the city, and there she picks up her snack, which is a hot dog. If you're going on an adventure, it's always really important to bring snacks, especially if you don't know how long they're going to be. And out of town! Look, those are those hot air balloons that we saw in the beginning, right? "Where are we going?" Harriet asked excitedly. "Back home, of course," a penguin answered. "The city is a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there." That's a thing that you might hear penguins say about cities sometimes, and people. So Harriet's in this long line of penguins. Do you think that she's going to get on the hot air balloon? Would you get on the hot air balloon? Let's see. As the balloons floated farther from the city, Harriet's thoughts floated back to her birthday party. So Harriet definitely got on these balloons. "Excuse me," said Harriet. "I don't think I belong here." "That's okay," the penguins replied. "Everyone feels like they don't fit in sometimes." Maybe you should lose the bow tie. So the penguins think that she's a real penguin, right? And they think that what she's saying is she feels like she doesn't fit in. But Harriet didn't care about fitting in. She cared about getting back to the store. So she straightened her bow tie. And hatched a plan. And so her first plan, right, is to float off on some ice. And she doesn't get very far before it all melts. And another. So her second plan is to use the piece of the hot air balloon as a parachute. And also, she does not get very far. Things were not going smoothly. And you see the penguins back here and over here. They're just watching as she's trying to come up with these ideas, and they're not helping at all. Those are rude penguins. Harriet was almost out of ideas when one emerged from the sea. There it is. Do you know what kind of animal that is? Hey, said the orca. It's an orca. You're not a penguin. How did you know? Cried Harriet. Penguins don't wear bow ties, he replied, which is true. Harriet realized this orca might just be her ticket home. So she told him her tale of costumes and penguins and hot air balloons. She told him all about her family and her city and the party hats she needed to find. And when her story was finished, she said, I could really use a lift. It just so happens I'm heading up north for a family reunion, replied the orca. Who saw that coming? I could drop you off along the way in exchange for a fancy red bow tie. This seemed like a fair trade. So Harriet takes her bow tie, right, and she throws it over to the orca, who wears it as a little bow on his head. Very cute. Maybe he's trying to be fancy for his family reunion. As the orca swam, Harriet daydreamed. And there's Harriet laying on the orca, and she's daydreaming about this, which is the Statue of Liberty. And she and the orca are jumping over it, and all of them are wearing party hats. Once Harriet could make out the city in the distance, the orca came to a halt. This is as far as I can go, he said. So Harriet called in a favor from some friends she knew from the park. We'll take it from here, they said. And her friends from the park are the pigeons that we saw in the beginning, right? That she was feeding on the park bench. How do you think they're going to be able to help? Let's find out. Whoa. So the pigeons are flying Harriet all the way back to the city, and they must be the strongest pigeons in all the world, right? Because there are only two pigeons right here holding Harriet up and flying her all the way there. Maybe they're magical pigeons. I don't think two pigeons could carry me back to the city. I don't know about you, but they're great pigeons. Harriet soared back into the store and headed straight for the party hats. It didn't take long to pick out the perfect ones. And so there's Harriet picking out the perfect party hats, but there's only one bag of them, right? So it wasn't very hard to figure out which ones to get. She found her dad's at the deli, just where she'd left them. Where did you sneak off to? They asked. I just went to go get the party hats, said Harriet. Oh, and I could use a new bow tie. So Harriet's probably not going to tell her dads that she traded her bow tie to an orca, right? They won't understand. With hats in hand, Harriet waddled back through the subway, up the street, and into her room. She put on her birthday party costume. Can you tell what that is? Straightened her party hat, so kind of like her bow tie before. Imagine there's a party hat, like that, and headed up to the roof. The roof is where her birthday party is going to be. The party was a great success, and nobody got carried away. Except maybe Olivia. And so we haven't met Olivia before, but Olivia is Harriet's friend who came to Harriet's birthday party, right? And she is dressed like a wolf, and she has a red necktie, and she looks like maybe she's currently getting carried away by all of these wolves who came to Harriet's birthday party, and they're howling at the moon, and Harriet's dog looks really happy about it. Have you ever been to a birthday party with a wolf? I never have. And that's the end. And the very last page has a penguin friend who looks like maybe they got left behind in New York City. Maybe visited the Statue of Liberty, got some delicious pizza, and if you look really, really closely, there's some anchovies on that pizza, which I'm not a fan of, but I bet penguins really love. And that's the end of the book. Thank you so much for reading with me, and I hope to read with you again soon. Bye!